So we have Will Wappler, right?
Right.
Of Surgere here. So tell us a little bit about Surgere and what it is that you guys do.
Sure. We solve a very simple problem.
Simple, but still a problem.
But it's still a problem.
There we go. All
and
right,
it
let's
hasn't
hear it.
been solved for a long time. The problem is that all of our customers and most companies in the world want to know where their stuff is.
Yeah.
It's really that simple,
Yeah.
right? But frankly, that has not been an easy combination to find to unlock the safe.
Interesting. Okay.
For lots of different reasons, right? Whether it's the environment within the four walls, or the environment over the road, or the environment in the lot in the back, what is in what trailer, right?
Yeah.
All of those things that you hear about a lot. That introduces then a falsity in what people believe to be true.
Interesting.
You send me parts, I think they're in the truck,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. And
Yeah.
then,
Just trusting, right?
and we have
Or
a
maybe
client.
not trusting.
Yeah, exactly. We have a client, automotive manufacturer, an OEM, one of the really big ones, and they literally have people that go to all of the backs of the large trucks in their yard to open them up to see what's in them.
Yes.
They call them door swingers.
Yeah.
Now you can start at that level and then start thinking about what that says to the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
So if I bring something in and I don't think that I have it, but I do, now I've just turned that warehouse into flexible put-away space because I don't have room for the new things.
Right.
So it just cascades everywhere, and you start losing product. You don't really know what you have available for the line when they need it. And we found ways to treat energy differently than anyone else.
Okay.
And so it allows us to, with about 99.99 degrees of certainty.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
When Honda tested us before they selected us, they ran a year's test and we were at 99.998. Now I'm still a little bit upset about that 8, but not too bad, right?
Hey, you always got to leave a little bit of room for improvement.
You
right?
do.
There you go. So very interesting stuff, and obviously, like you said, I mean, it's a simple problem when we say it out loud. Right? We want to see where is our stuff, but we need that visibility to be able to understand that and to really be able to be effective within our supply chains, right? And have the most efficient processes and have that flow through that we love to see and love to feel and not have to worry about, like you said, is it on the truck? Is it not on the truck? Is there enough on the truck? All those different things. So tell us a little bit about kind of how the technology works. How are you bringing that visibility to the table?
Sure. Let's introduce a term that we and our clients use every day, which is confluence, right? Confluence to us is a concept where we bring in multiple types of, whether it's RFID, active, passive, ultra-wideband, GPS, all of the different data collection devices that are out there. What we do is that we bring them in, and then we build a system of them so that at the end of the day, we're not really talking about a singular solution that you're trying to bend to make it work.
Right.
It's really, at this point in time, it's a number of solutions that are gathered together to perform a single solution. And that's been one of the most important things we've done. The second thing we've done is we've been able to change the way that energy is directed toward a target.
Okay.
So, like passive RFID, which is used in large-scale environments, right? Automotive, a lot of folks that are moving a lot of parts, putting a lot of things in warehouses, would use passive RFID.
Right.
The problem has always been with that you are going to use an energy field But that energy field bounces off of metal, right?
Yeah.
And
Racking.
all of a sudden you think you're putting something on the truck, but it bounced off of a forklift, and I was actually reading something that is next to me.
Oh, interesting.
So it throws off that truth again.
Yeah.
Right? And with some partners of ours on the hardware side, we've been able to learn how to actually shape that energy so that we're very focused and we're very defined. And that has been really one of the major improvements that we brought to the industry.
Yeah.
But you know, if we go back to what you and I were talking about, think about this. It's one thing if you don't know where your stuff is,
Right.
or do you have it or don't you have it, right? But think about all of the vendors that are here at the show this week. They're purveyors of new technology.
Right.
That technology is dependent on the purity of data. You have to have data fidelity, or your, if you will, technical solution starts to fall to its knees, because if you're using automated retrieval systems, well, you better have something there to retrieve.
That's true.
Right? If you're staging product to put onto a truck to send somewhere, it would be really nice if you had the exact product that's supposed to go on the truck.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, that you can audit and error proof.
Right.
All of the technology exists under the belief that what they're supposed to do is there and waiting and available. So really, in the last few years, the definition of who we are has changed in that we're really here to support technology as well as warehouse operations. Because warehouse operations, you know, whether it was Jeff that was just here, you know, you're always talking about people.
Yeah.
You're always talking about turnover, retention, training, processes that aren't necessarily followed as well as we'd like nowadays.
Yeah, that happens.
Right? So he comes along with a robot to help. Well, that's great, but that robot does not have intuitive knowledge. So if what that robot is to retrieve is right next to the spot that it's going to, it doesn't intuitively understand that the environment is incomplete or incorrect. So our job is to simplify the robot's life and make sure that everything is understood to be where it's supposed to be.
Right, yeah.
So really, now we've transformed ourselves from a company that tells you where all of your stuff is to now it's also how do we support the rollout and development and deployment basically of all of the technology that we're surrounded by today.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important thing, because that data is so foundational to being able to bring some of these solutions in and have them be successful when they're implemented. But I think it's also important too, like you said, you want to know exactly where it is, and the robot is not going to, you know, if you're a human, maybe you might look to the left or look to the right, and maybe somebody put it on the right instead of exactly where it's supposed to be, but the robot's not looking left and right? The robot's like, it's going to be in location A, that's not in location A. That's it. I'm done, right? So, I mean, it's super important to be able to have that visibility, like you said, and have that accuracy too, so you don't have to worry about all those exceptions happening in between. So it's very, very important, and it's great and fantastic to hear that you guys are at 99.999999%, however many nines you got there. But I mean, really interesting stuff and great technology, and it's great to figure out that you've, or the way that you've figured out how to harness that energy, as you said, to be able to take away those errors too, and be able to really make it kind of almost a seamless process in that sense, to be able to get your data in order and be able to have that visibility overall. So very interesting stuff with you here, Will, and I really appreciate you stopping by and teaching us a little bit about Surgere and the importance that you guys are doing on that foundational data aspect and overall visibility as well, and kind of creating that foundational entry point to be able to adapt some of these other technologies around here too as well. If people are interested or want to learn more, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can always find us on the internet at
Yes.
surgere.com.
Okay.
Once you see us there,
Yeah.
then obviously the pathway is pretty easy to connect to us. And we have offices throughout North America, Mexico, and launching in Europe. So people can also knock on our door or ask us to come knock on theirs.
All right.
We're always ready to come out and have a cup of coffee and talk about fidelity of data. It's a pretty exciting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could just add one more thought to our time together, if you look at technology and its life of propagation, just for a moment, technology generally is, hey, we have a problem.
Right.
Now we're going to imagine how to solve that problem, and then we start going from imagination to let's get into some architecture and design and some things that bring us a little bit closer, right? And then you have that solution, but then it becomes practicality. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about this year's show here is that if you were to go with me booth to booth to booth, we would see less and less imagination and more practical application.
Right.
And that's a really interesting now time in the state of technology. We've had a lot of years of great imagination.
Yes.
And right?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of companies that have come and gone with some incredible, powerful ideas. This year, I have seen more practical application than any time in my career. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's such a great point, because you do see now, like it's like these solutions are coming, and people want to know, like, is this really going to work, right? Is it really practical? Can it really come into my operation? And I think we're more educated in the market on what's out there and how things are working, and we want to know, like, okay, if I invest in this, is it really going to work, or am I, is my imagination just going wild, as you said, right? So very interesting stuff, Will, and definitely appreciate you coming by and giving us these insights and thoughts as well, and we'll definitely be putting out more information about you guys so people can learn. So.
Well, and thank you for providing the service. We all need to listen to folks that are helping us through all of the changes we're going through nowadays, right?
Absolutely.
And we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin, and it was nice meeting you.
You too. Thanks so much for dropping by today.